meeting to order.
Jenkins?
Here.
Coffee?
Here.
Kelly?
Here.
McKinley?
Yes.
Jesroy?
Here.
Pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
First thing on this evening's agenda is public comments. We do have three. Mary Walker will be first on the list because she is on the agenda. You have the floor.
I just wanted to give you a quick recap of Heritage Days. I want to thank the city and the city workers and Sandy and the ladies at City Hall for helping us. We couldn't have pulled it off without them. We figured we had close to 5,000 people in the downtown area throughout the 3-day event. The car show, we had over 60 entries, which is, last couple years it's rained, but it was a great show. We had, new this year was an adult tractor, pedal tractor pull, bags tournament, and the cook-off. And all the activities was well attended, and we plan on having it again next year. We had people from all over the state, plus some from out of state. I wanted you to know that we give back to our community. We give back to BREF, the fire department, the Boy Scouts, the Blue Ridge football, all the civic organizations that come and help us. This year, the carnival did so well that they've asked us to sign a 3-year contract to come back. And that is kind of unheard of in Farmer City and, for small towns. Our promoter told us that most small towns cannot pull off a concert like Joe Diffie, and that we do a great job. So it's later in the meeting, but I would like to see if maybe you guys could give us a 3-year commitment for Main Street being closed so we can sign the contract and to put us in your budget.
Thank you, ma'am. Is there any questions? Thank you for the work that you do. The next public comment that we have is Chuck Westman. Sir, you have the floor.
Yeah, I'm going to speak a little bit on what she said. I'm also here to speak up for Heritage Days as a business owner uptown. I saw a lot of people that would not have been in my tavern otherwise. Had nothing but good things to say about everything going on. There again, that was a very big concert for a small town like this to have. And it was executed very well, very few problems, and I think it was done really well, and I can't do it without the money. And then going back to the carnival, I think I agree with Mary on that. We've seen it happen with the fair. It's so hard to get a good carnival in, and when they're willing to commit, that's a big step in keeping an event like this going. But just seeing all those people, it had to have been good for so many businesses in town. I know it was good for mine personally, and this event's not all about me. It's about this town. I'm a lifelong resident. I've never lived anywhere but here. And I remember Heritage Days in the 90s as a kid riding my bike around. I mean, it was so cool, and it's coming back. We're going in the right direction. So I just wanted to speak as a citizen and a business owner that we're getting it back, and it's a very good thing. So.
Thank you, sir. And the next public comment we have is from Renee Dunham. You have the floor, ma'am.
Shut up, Chuck. I'm here tonight because the last city council meeting that I came to, my request for water to have the meter turned on for water at the BMX track, no one said yes, no one said no. You asked for the opinion, can't think of his name. Guy from the water.
Calvin.
Yeah, okay, Calvin. I started calling. Anyway, so since the last city council meeting, Ryan Cox is here with me also. His dad was instrumental in all phases of South Park being built, we decided that we would invest a little bit of pocket change and go get a flow meter to put on the garden hoses that we have out there at the track to see how much water we actually used. This happened this Saturday, would be the Saturday after the city council meeting, and as everyone knows, we have had very little rain at all. So we hooked it up on all 3 of the garden hoses, ran and watered the entire track down. And Ryan, you can tell them how much was on.
It was an average of about 150 gallon per line, so about a total of 450.
But it took us close to probably 30 to 45 minutes to get the dirt wet enough so that it could soak the moisture in and keep the track compacted. The comment that Calvin made about all the money that was invested in, treating the water and that, it's not going to be used for dirt. I was extremely offended by that, and so were others in the community. I think that was extremely unprofessional response. It makes us feel like we aren't worth any kind of investment whatsoever. I know, I'm going to stick to 5 minutes this time.
You're fine, thank you.
So anyway, if you look at how much water the average person uses every day for a shower, a dishwasher, a load of clothes, anything like that, the average water usage is between 70 to 80 gallons of water a day. We're talking about 450 gallons of water on maybe every other weekend. I mean, we race on Saturdays. We have Thursday nights during the summer, and that's it. The original intent, as I mentioned before, was that the water pipes that ran out to South Park in both phases of the park, the intent was to be able to have water available for whatever was set up, whether it was tennis courts, which was actually in the original proposal, a trail, softball diamond, soccer, whatever it is. That was in the original proposal by the Farm City Recreation Area Committee. I think it's really important even to compare not only that does the average person use 80 gallons of water a day, but if anybody has a pool, a small, well, maybe not small, but an average size 15-foot round pool that's like 3 feet deep. That takes 4,000 gallons of water to fill, and it's going to evaporate, and it's going to get splashed out on the side, and then you're going to have to refill it. You've got people who have, toilets that may not, come back together and they're running and they don't realize it. There's a lot of water that is just wasted out of everyday occurrences. What we're looking at, a pool, we're looking at being able to water our track 10 times almost for what it costs to fill a swimming pool. 10 times is 10 race days. 10 race days equates to 10 times more people coming in to Farm City. I don't think that this request is out of line. I only wish that Dale Cox was still here, that he could reiterate and reinforce the things that I'm saying. Ryan, is there anything you'd like to add?
There's one thing, if I may.
Yes, sir.
We don't mind using the pumps to get water from the creek when it's available. But if we're in the middle of a race and it's dry and it's windy out there, you got dust. Depending on the wind direction, the dust might be going into the people that are watching the race and that kind of thing. So it's imperative to keep the dust down during the event. So if I have a problem with a pump or something like that, I'd like to be able to, flip a switch and go right to city water and keep the event going.
Yes, sir.
And as I mentioned at the last city council meeting, if we need to pay for the usage of the water, that's fine. As I got the rates this morning from Sandy, every bill, I don't know how if you would consider us a business or not, but the average bill every user of water in town gets a flat rate of water for $12.11. It's 1,400 gallons. That's all we need. You know, if I need to write a check every month, that's what I'll do.
Very good, ma'am. The time is up, however, I've written this down in non-agenda items and other business, so later on, as the meeting goes up, we'll be bringing this up again.
Okay.
All right, very good. Thank you. This brings us to section 1, the consent agenda.
Move to approve.
Second.
Colin?
Jenkins?
Yes.
Coffee?
Yes.
Kelly?
Yes.
McKinley? Testori?
Yes.
Motion carries.
This moves us to section 2, unfinished business.
Move to bring the resolution 2017-24 from the table.
Second.
Any discussion?
Did everybody get the information they were looking for from this?
Yeah.
Yeah, I got it. We'll bring it to the table and we bring it up and discuss it and we can move to pass it. But yeah, I went out there with Farnsworth and Wiley the other day. One of the engineers stopped in our office and we went out there and he explained to me how it was going to be. And he explained to me that it was going to where that
The one by his house.
one by your house, Ron, is that open basin and everything, that's going to be
Right.
closed off, and they're going to drain it into there and take it around to on the east side of that, and come down along the south side of that, and bring it down into the basin down there at the west side of the property.
Where that manhole cover is that you said that was kind of hidden underneath all that tall grass, down there. Like where it all goes down, runs into.
Yeah. That's my understanding, that's why, because I tried to make it clear, because I wanted to understand that how this is going to be done. He says that would dry that up in there in the middle.
All right, is this a pipeline that's going underground? Or
Yes.
are they going to pull out any of the pipe that's already, I mean, there's a 36-inch culvert coming out of that manhole right by my house.
You know, I tell you what, I really don't know how they're going to grab that water down there by your house, but it's not going to be open anymore. I do know that. That's the way he told me.
And the water up in the southeast corner, because after, I mean, they've been doing a fantastic job of mowing, who's ever doing the mowing now. And after he was up there and de-weeded and did some mowing up there, and it's in the southeast corner, it would be the southwest corner of the Gibson City Hospital property right there. Well, it was uncovered. There's a manhole and there's a culvert right there. So if we go underground with everything, how are we going to drain? Where's that water going to go?
It's all going to go to the west.
It's all going to go to the west. That one too will be diverted and go to the west.
Yes, that's my understanding.
Are they going to do anything with the ground as far as shaping it, or, I mean, you're getting rid of the water in there. What do we do with the groundwater that we'd be getting back in there from, I mean, there's going to be some standing water.
Well,
Are we going to spray it, treat it, so we don't get cattails and stuff anymore, or what?
I guess we're going to have to.
Okay.
It's going to fall back on us. I guess, yeah, he told me it was going to dry up in there in the middle and everything, where it could be used as a park, or it could be used as a park in whatever way, with playground equipment in it, a soccer field, a baseball field, whatever. It could be used in that way. But you would still have a water issue if you're going to have a lot of rain. There's not going to be there's no way of getting around that. Now, why that's dished out in there, I don't know. I truly don't know why it's dished out. And maybe when they built the subdivision, they did it that way.
Well, they ditched it out originally because it was a detention pond where the water would go into it and eventually just creep out.
That's right, that sounds right.
Yeah, but I never understood why they had a 36-inch culvert for an inlet and they have a 12-inch culvert for an outlet, unless they were trying to not force that much water into that ditch directly to the west, which would be on the farmer's property or whatever.
Yeah, however, that was all taken care of back then, but that's the way he told me it was going to drain out and everything.
So it's going to drain out, it'll go...
Across the way onto Walsh's property.
Okay. As long as
And I'm not trying, that's why I understand it, and I'm not trying to mislead you in any way.
Yeah.
And I do hope they come through with that in the way they're supposed to, the way they told me.
Okay.
Any further discussion?
And just for clarification, whether it's right, this is to move it off the table, then there'll be another motion, need to be another motion to actually approve it or not.
You have to vote, no, we have to vote off the table, correct?
That's right.
Yeah, we have to do that first, so. Roll call.
Coffee?
Yes.
Kelly?
Yes.
McKinley?
Yes.
Testori?
Yes.
Jenkins?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Make a motion to approve resolution 2017-24, resolution accepting the bid for the Prairie Ridge Detention Basin.
Any discussion?
Yes, the bid's still good. But Farnsworth told me it's good for about 45 days or so. As far as you know, Sandy, is it all right?
The bid
The
from
bid's just still-
start.
I haven't looked at the paperwork, but if they said 45 days, they're going to fix everything together.
Okay, so, because maybe we delayed this a little bit, so I want to make sure we're not.
This was done on May 16th, and we're not quite to 45 days yet.
Any other discussion or questions? Call it.
Kelly?
Yes.
McKinley?
Yes.
Testori?
Yes.
Jenkins?
Yes.
Coffee?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Make a motion to approve resolution 2017-27, approving the hiring for an appraiser for a certain real estate at 420 North John in Farmer City.
I'll second it.
Discussion.
Mayor,
Yes.
you should have two quotes, two different appraisers, they both came in at the same price.
I don't have to. Have one.
Yeah, I told you about it, but I have Jeffrey Martindale,
I don't have that one.
and now this is Jeffrey Martindale.
I know. Other than his license, that's all. No,
I have the Wixit.
that puts it on my hand.
Yeah, I don't know what that is.
I mean, have a resolution.
See, I was just all around today, I'm going to hold on. What is the price?
She brought the resolution to the office. It was just sitting up there when she got me mine.
I have an extra copy here I can hand
I
out.
got Martindale's right here.
I got another copy here you can hand. You need it. You can just take that.
Where's one, these two together? Those are his.
No, I don't need it, maybe one else.
These are Martindale's, and I need this. Martindale?
I just.
And this is, all right, guys, but-
You got it. Yeah, I got both of these.
Martindale.
All right.
And that's it.
Both the same price, $400.
Going rate.
I think you're, that appears to be, I agree. So, you'll need to make a decision which one you want.
So you need a coin, heads or tails?
It's however you want to decide.
Does anybody have any preference?
Not really, I don't really know.
Okay.
Seriously, want to flip the coin?
No, just take them alphabetical.
I hate alphabetical, so I'm with Dan.
Is there any objection to Martindale? Any further discussion? Call it.
I mean, I'm sorry. Did someone put in a name? I think the ordinance is blank. So I think, I didn't hear it, I guess.
I asked if there was any objection to Martindale.
Well, that doesn't make any difference. You still have to put the form of a motion, put his name in there and everything. So if he wants to reword that motion, that'd be the best way to go. This would be Resolution 2017-27, approving
Go ahead.
Larry Martindale as the, and hiring as the appraiser for certain real estate, 420 North John Street, Farmer City.
Okay.
Second.
Any further discussion? Call it.
McKinley,
Yes.
Testori,
Yes.
Jenkins,
Yes.
Coffee,
Yes.
Kelly,
Yes.
motion carried.
Make a motion to approve Resolution 2017-28, approving the donation for the Farmer City Raceway for the June 30th fireworks show.
Second.
Discussion?
Who else contributes to this, Lance?
We try to get some private donors, and we put on a bucket that night, mostly some business downtown.
Chamber?
The chamber will be involved, yes.
Who does this show, Lance?
Larry Watkins, his name, I don't know the name of the firework company. He's out of the Decatur area. He's done it the last several years. Same price. It's
I'm
about
only asking because I saw somebody get their license pulled.
Yes, I've got some emails from some other companies wanting to know too. When I get in. It is about a $6,000 show, so we're asking about a third of the city. So.
This is the same guy that's been doing it for many moons.
This year he said he would do it a bit bigger, better show than last year for the same price. So last year was pretty good.
It's open to the public when the fireworks comes around.
Yep, we stop. We'll stop taking money. It's only $5 to get in that night to begin with, but for fireworks, if you're coming for fireworks only, we stop taking money about 8:30, something like that.
Any further discussion?
Mayor, can I ask, how
Yes.
much is the donation? I don't see that.
2,000.
It's not even.
It's on the resolution.
On the resolution.
Get the resolution?
No, I don't, but I'm good.
It says that the city of Farmer City approves the expenditures of up to 2,000 from fiscal year 2017-2018 approved budget for public relations.
And what account is this coming out of? Public relations, or just general fund?
Call it.
Testori,
Yes.
Jenkins,
Yes.
Coffee,
Yes.
Kelly,
Yes.
McKinley,
Yes.
motion carried.
Make a motion to approve Resolution 2017-29, approving a 3-year commitment to the Farmer City Heritage Days Committee with a budget approval of $10,000 per year donation beginning with the approved 2018-2019 budget year.
Second.
Discussion.
As they have all said.
We
It's a
know.
very good event.
Right.
It's for a lot of people in town, and people will be expecting it from now on. It's been a good job. It's been one of the best events during my probably 60 years of going to these sort of things. I'm on 67, so it really is, it has been a good event, very good event. I've been very fortunate with the acts we've got.
I think it's great for the community. I mean, the group gives back a tremendous amount to the community. Overall, I mean, they try to help a lot of different groups out in town. So, I mean, if there's any question about the charity that they give back, there should be no question, because they give opportunities to a lot of groups to make money and to sell their items to make money. You know, the Educational Foundation made a nice chunk of money off of serving food that was donated by McKinley Water Conditioning. So, and you know, obviously the amount of people that I believe you guys bring to town is just, you know, tremendous, and nothing that's ever happened here before. So I think it's great for our downtown and just for our town in general, because I know, you know, Huck said that they underestimated the amount of people that were going to be here, and they ran out of stuff. I know that the carnival ran out of food, and they bought Dollar General out of every package of hot dogs that they had. lemons. I mean, they went to the grocery store, they went to Dollar General. I know that the carnival owner even called me about a truck that was for sale at Tri-County that he potentially bought. So, I mean, there was a lot of good that came out of this event, and a lot of people got to come to Farmer City and see what our town is all about. So I think it's a positive thing for the town, absolutely.
I have a couple questions. The 3-year commitment, is that just a commitment from the city, or is that a 3-year commitment for the money also?
Both.
There's no doubt it was a good event, but here's the rub. Heritage Days wants to be on the city's budget, and last year they pulled out of the city's, it's pulled out as a city committee, so they are independent. I can't object to a yearly contribution as we see fit. But this is not a committee that needs to be on a city budget. They're not part of the city.
It's for the city, though. I mean, it's for the town of Farmer City, and it directly affects our town, and it affects the income that comes into the town, and, you know, there's a lot of positive things that come out of this event, and it does a lot of good for the town, all around. It does a lot of good for the businesses in town, it does a lot of good for the traffic in town. I mean, we're bending over backwards for a rowing club that, let's be serious, what have they really done for the town up to this point? And I mean, Heritage Days is kind of, I feel like, looked over a little bit, but we bend over backwards for other events in this town. And this is a great event for the town. I mean, it's just something that brings everybody out. This is a way to solidify a great carnival that I think everybody enjoyed. It was clean, respectful. I didn't notice that there was even a carnival in town. I mean, the whole week, I didn't, you know, there was no issues. And I think, you know, this is a commitment to the group, that the city supports them, and a commitment to the carnival, a commitment to the promoter as well. I mean, if you want this to continue to happen, there's got to be something in stone, because they want some sort of commitment for the time that they're investing into it. So I think it is important. And, you know.
What do you mean they're overlooked?
What?
You said that their Heritage Days is overlooked.
I just think that there's certain groups in town that don't like to support this event, and I don't understand it. And it's very difficult for Heritage Days. You know, we work really, really hard. These women work very hard to get the money raised every year for this. And I think there's certain groups in town that should be supporting this event, but I think because of personal conflict, they don't. And it's a personal thing. It's not really the event. I think that the city should stand up and show that we support this event, because it is great for our town, and it truly is one of the only things that brings this amount of people in a one weekend event. I mean, a lot of families, I know my family have a lot of friends who go to town and host this. The Raceway brings people, I'm not saying that, but I'm saying that for, you know, a huge mass crowd of people like this. And yes, the races, you know, your big races, I'm sure do bring a lot. And that was what the gas stations compared it to, is one of, you know, like the big races that you guys have. Something like that, that's the kind of flow of traffic. Not a Friday night race, but, you know, your bigger races. So, yeah.
I think one of the things, though, that, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I thought we discussed that, because I think, how many years have we supported this? $10,000 a year for 4 years now? Is it 4? 40,000?
No.
How many years?
1 year it was, well, last year it was 7, and the year before that was 10, the year before that was 9, and maybe the year before that was 10.
Okay.
Well, that's just the cash out of pocket. That's not including city services that are provided.
Correct.
We had discussed before that Heritage Days was at least moving towards being self-sustaining.
Well, I don't ever see that happening. You know, when we bring in the talent of like a Joe Diffie, something like that, there is no way that we can expect the small businesses in town to help us that much. I mean, they can't afford it, you know, and it is basically a city event, you know. We do it for the city. We don't do it for us, because I don't get to see the concert, you know. I don't get to ride the rides, because I'm working the whole time, you know. So we do it for the town, and I think it's hard to expect us to ask all the people in town to, the businesses, they're all small town businesses, and we are a 501c3, so, we'll work harder on getting bigger donations, but, it's just, we can't expect the small businesses to do that. And I think for us to continue to have 5,000 people come to our event, we need, the Joe Diffie's and Sammy Kershaw's to come.
Well, I have to tell you, I thought that was great, what little bit I was here for. We travel baseball, so we got to literally see 30 minutes of it. But, just like you're saying, asking the businesses to pay for this is the same thing. This is asking the taxpayers to fund this. I understand the commitment on the circuit or the carnival and all that, but I just don't know if the city can make it a $10,000 in the budget every year. I'm sure we're willing to give. We always have.
I just thought maybe if it was in the budget, that we don't have to tax the hotel tax every year.
Mary, the thing about the budget is that's part of where it would come out of in the budget is the hotel motel tax. If we know what that is, what's in there, no problem with that either in the recent days.
I think they were limited to 5,000 now anyway in that, right? That was the max.
That was the max you could provide, there were 10,000 in it.
It brings in, like you said, it brings in sales tax dollars. Heritage Days does a lot for the community. We give back, and I don't know, I'm sure if you look in your
I guess I
budget.
don't discount that. Working with the non-for-profit, I can tell you, I think it's sometimes dangerous to be very dependent upon the government to maintain your organization. There's a lot of needy organizations. I'm looking at, there's domestic abuse in Champaign that is so dependent on state funds. The state funds dry up. We got a lot of women, which is a worthy cause, who, are being kicked out of the home potentially. I just think that you're here early on, which I think that's awesome, trying to secure the funds, which I think is awesome, but I think sometimes there may be other people to ask first.
The problem, correct me if I'm wrong, is Heritage Days draws the biggest donation of all the organizations in Farmer City.
From us?
From us. Is there anybody that asked for more than $10,000?
No.
And this would go a long way towards keeping, say, an employee that might have found a better job. That money could be used to raise salaries of employees.
It's like comparing apples and oranges. We've got budgets for that certain specific situation. Employees have nothing to do with this. This is not about employees' wages. This has nothing to do with that.
Sure, this is taxpayer money that pays employees'
Okay, well
wages.
then why don't we use the money that we're getting from the gambling machines? Because that's for nothing. We're just getting that. We're gifted that every year. So use $10,000 of that, earmark it for this event, done.
Why don't we be fair, Aaron, and just write a resolution
Okay, you
to
tell
every
me with the
organization?
other groups, then the other groups in town can absolutely come to these meetings, ask for as much money as they want, but prove to me how you're giving back to the community. And any group that wants to come in and ask for this amount of money, if you think it's too much, then tell me what other groups are doing to give back to the community like Heritage Days is. There's not another group that's doing what they're doing, to give back to all these different groups within town. It's
I'd say
not
the
about
raceway.
just Heritage
The
Days.
raceway.
Does the raceway, do you guys donate back and you give other groups opportunities?
All the 50/50 events is always.
What groups get the 50/50 event? What different groups?
The Chamber, the Kiwanis, the VFW, the
And how
softball,
does the
baseball.
group get in on that? Can they just approach you guys and
They-
see, or does it have to be non-for-profit, or how does that work?
Our guy in charge, Marty, might be something wrong. Marty and Rhonda run that, and you go to them, get on the list. The only thing we've had, I think it was the JFL didn't show up 3 times in a row, so we don't allow them anymore because they didn't show up. But other than that, if you come, it's your event. I know soccer has done really well. Kiwanis, most of the money for the South Park playground came from Kiwanis, came from their 50/50 money they got up there.
Well, the 50/50 money, the total money, you take something off the top? You don't get a percentage of the top?
Nope, nope. We
So
take,
whatever they take in, as far as their 50/50 goes, their half of it, they get all of it, and the other person, the winner, gets the other half, and you don't take anything off the top.
that's correct. We keep one 50/50 for ourselves. The big race we keep for ourselves. Everything else goes to every other organization in town.
But over a year's time, the racetrack last year got about $10,000. Roughly about $10,000. It was just spread out. It wasn't asked for at one time. 5 total?
I'll be at the next meeting asking for another 3. 3 and 2 is what we asked for, but maybe I need to ask for 10.
I want 10.
And we have 18 to 20,000 people we bring to this community per year.
Well, that's great. I appreciate that.
A year and a half ago, this was supposed to be.
And the racetrack
saying-
still says that they don't make money either. So I just want to point that out, that he brings that many people to town and they still aren't making a profit after this many years of running that racetrack. And now, and you're getting on us about Heritage Days, about not making a profit, but it's
I
a
don't
major
think
thing
any-
to run an
I
event.
don't think any-
I think you've made assumptions that they are, and you also said that at some point you said you were going to be self-funded. Well, it's very difficult
I
when you're
didn't say
running an
that.
event like this.
Heritage Day said that.
Okay.
And we
Well,
did,
we're brand new to it.
at one time it would, but it's not, you know?
And self-funding is not the same as making a profit.
Well, we can't make a profit because we're non-for-profit.
No, you can make a profit. You just can't share the profits with the stockholders, with the trustees, and that's how we're non-for-profit. You can make a profit out of anything, Mary. Whoa. Uh-oh, the rat died. Okay. Please.
She's gonna go take the court.
I do want to add, though, that the raceway that...
We can't have anything when the meeting's installed like this.
Huh?
You'll just have to wait a minute till we get
Oh,
the,
you don't want to get shut up.
till we get the recorder going.
I know that.
Sorry.
You're still recording, I'm assuming, aren't you?
Yeah, I just sort of...
All right. Can't very much see, so, further discussion.
Renee, you were saying something. You were
I
saying.
was just going to mention that that's something that they give back to the community. On one occasion, the Boy Scouts could not come and do the parking, and so a handful of people from the BMX track did go out and help with parking. They volunteered their time for the whole night, and they did make a donation to us. So, you know, they are giving back. And as far as a nonprofit goes, you know, we're lucky to have a couple $1,000s at the end of the year, and that's everything we need to get started the following year. So, you know, I mean, I think it's the same, while everybody would like to be self-sufficient, unless you run a nonprofit, you have no idea how difficult it is to get the money in and spread it out over the whole year to make sure that you have every expense that you need to cover and even any unexpected expenses that you budget for. So, I mean, that's just my own opinion.
Any further discussion?
Mayor, if I could just ask, I think
Yes.
Karen, you and I talked about this, you're no longer affiliated with
I
it?
am no longer, yes, I stepped
Okay,
down.
I just wanted to clarify that, I thought that would be helpful for everybody.
And just to say, I have nothing against the raceway, so Lance I'm just throwing that out there. I wasn't trying to take a dig at the raceway. I just, I want to be transparent. I want to know, and I want the community to know what all these groups do, and whatever you guys, come and ask for.
And at the next meeting, when I ask for money again, I will be glad to answer all questions about how little money we do make is back into the facility, and we actually fund the fair. The racetrack funds the fair doesn't fund the racetrack. So that's where our money goes.
Any further discussion? Call it.
McKinley,
Yes.
Teslery,
No.
Jenkins.
No.
Coffee,
Yes.
Kelly,
No.
motion passed.
So that means no money or no 3-year contract?
Doesn't mean that at all. It means that I would highly recommend coming back again with something else.
So do I have a 3-year commitment from the city?
Those two were tied together. I would say As of right now, no.
So I can't sign a contract with you.
I would recommend bringing that back at the next meeting, separating the two out. You could also request for different amounts of funds. You could separate that out to a 3-year commitment by the Heritage Days and $10,000 for the year, so 2 different resolutions.
Well, I did ask for 2 things,
It's all in one
but it's all in one resolution.
Yes. And I would recommend doing that. So, you're good.
I'd like to make a motion to go into executive session to discuss personnel, appointment, employment, compensation, discipline, and/or performances of specific employees pursuant to Section 2C1 from the Open Meetings Act, ILCS 120/2C1.
I'll second it.
Call it?
Textor,
Yes.
Jenkins,
Yes.
Coffee,
Yes.
Kelly,
Yes.
McKinley, motion carries.
The city manager's report. Any questions to the manager?
Well, I think we've got the reports from the department heads, and I think that's good, so I'm very satisfied with that they're doing that.
Any non-agenda items and other business? I just have,
Well, we're talking about Renee and her.
yeah, water to the BMX. I personally like to listen to my department heads. However, I think you gave a very convincing argument. I personally would like to see us do what we can for the BMX track, so
The plumbing's already out there.
it is.
And it's not gonna be a massive cost to get it out there.
The only thing that's gonna be needed is for somebody to come out and turn the water on next to our shed and put a meter on. That's all that has to happen. Everything else is in place and has been for a very long time.
I think the only, again, and we'll discuss because you haven't had a consensus yet from that. So I know that we had one non-for-profit had the water main out there, and of course they're paying for theirs as well. And then something happened. You probably do know about that. And then there was
I don't know.
there was a big bill.
For it, but
So
yes.
that was part of the convincing argument. You know, be willing to pay the $12 to $13. I know that you've had vandalism out there. Boy, you really want to lock that up. Somebody comes out, turns that water on, you know.
To have locking handles on them,
Yeah.
Yes.
anyway.
So I don't know what the council's thoughts are.
But there's no recirculation loop out there. It wouldn't be bad to run the water through there anyhow. Get the stagnant water out of the pipes.
Yes, and you can use crappy stinking water on our lovely dirt and it doesn't matter, you know.
Where are you gonna pull this from, a hydrant? There's a hydrant out there by the track?
There's several.
It's
yeah.
on the south side, yeah.
Okay.
I wouldn't even know how to hook that up if I had to.
Oh, not that far away. I wouldn't think so. It needs to be done, but it hasn't been done. It's a good thing to, like I said, to flush it, to go
They
ahead.
don't want to be using garden hose anyway, so it wouldn't be like 200 gallons out of a hydrant, out of the fire hydrant.
I agree with it. I think, as long as you guys are willing to pay the base rate or whatever it is, I don't see any problem with you guys getting water out there and it being on a meter. I mean, people water their lawns in town. I don't see how that's any different. I mean, if you guys are willing to pay for it, I have absolutely no problem with it. I think the BMX truck's a great thing for town. I am not opposed to taking the water out there for you.
And again, like Ryan mentioned, it's not something that we intend to use every single weekend that we're out there.
Right.
But it's just nice knowing, I mean, our water pump that we have right now, if something would happen to it and it would die and we're in the middle of, for example, this event in July, we have to have a backup source because we have no, we can't like call somebody and say, bring me a water trailer or
And you
whatever.
have a water fountain out there too, is that what you said? No. Okay.
This would be the opportunity for it, though.
Have a water fountain.
Some of those fit on the end of the faucet. I mean, they just gotta
Yeah, and I mean, if the water's flowing, it'll get better, you know, I know the water's kind of nasty out there, but that's just because of like it not being used enough, you know what I mean? Just anything that's sitting is obviously gonna get, you know, it's gonna be gross until you let it flow for a while, so.
And like Scott said, you know, if we can get the water on, then it's gonna pull the water through all of the piping that's out there, and it's gonna,
Right.
you know, keep it cleaned out, so.
Yeah, I agree. Anybody else's thoughts?
I'm all for it. I mean, I wished we had one when I was out there.
Sam?
Last 4 years of suffering.
Turn the water on and then leave it put on.
Yes. Other non-agenda items? Entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Paula?
Coffee?
Yes.
Kelly?
Yes.
McKinley?
Yes.
Chester?
Yes.
Jenkins?
Yes.